Hello, YouTube viewers. A little while ago, I did an episode where I captured a Varuun Eulogy, and at the time, the ship was kind of a rat's maze on the inside. So I did some modifications to it. What I've done is I've taken out one of the decks. It initially had one extra deck, and it had a spacer here, and basically it was a really bad layout of the ship. So I've basically compacted it by one deck vertically, and this is what I've ended up with here. It's still technically two decks high. Well, actually, I guess three decks if you want to look at it from that perspective. So I've given it a bit of a paint job. I've upgraded the reactor slightly, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a tour of the ship. Now, one of the things that I'm doing in this game is I'm using a mod called, what is it, Place Your Own Doors or something like that. Let me just take a look at it. Place doors yourself. Okay, so this is the one, and essentially what it does is it disables the auto placement of doors and ladders, and you're required to do this yourself in the ship builder. So you can essentially choose a like an item in the habitat module, and you say, okay, put a door here, or put an opening here that has no actual door. So I've been finding this is a really good mod for large ships. I've got a bunch of other mods installed. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you a tour of the ship. So first thing I've done is I've moved the landing bay over to the opposite side. I found that I was having a little bit of trouble with the layout with the landing bay on the starboard side. So I moved it over to the port side. Initially I was trying to do the layout with without this mod installed, this place stores yourself thing, and I found that it was giving me such a stupid layout for the auto placement of doors and ladders and stuff like that that I tried a bunch of different techniques and then finally ended up using the mod. So we'll head into the ship itself, and this puts me into a 1x1 hab, and I can go aft basically into another 1x1. There's a door here, open and closable. However, you'll notice that there is no door here. This is just a like an opening, and I might end up even going to that with the rest of these doors. This, for instance, is just an opening. There's no doorway, and then we have a ladder. And this ladder takes us up into the brig. My reasoning for that being that if you're bringing a prisoner onto the ship, you want to take him as directly to the brig as possible. So we've got two cells in here. This is a 2x2 brig. We can open the doors. And we can lock people up in here. And there is actually a mod that will allow you to capture prisoners alive and to bring them back to the brig. We got a washroom in the 2x2 brig module. We got our security office here. We can store a few guns on racks. We got a couple of lockers, security chief's desk. And from there we head forward and we're into the cargo module. This is a 3 wide by 2 forward cargo module. Now the ladder into the lower deck that you saw here basically takes us down into a workshop. So this gives us our 3 workbenches, the weapons, spacesuit, and industrial, and we've got a research station down here. Now at the port side of the cargo hall, we've got a 1x1, and I had initially planned on using this for just whatever, maybe an extra crew bedroom or whatever. I don't know if I'll use it for that. I may come up with a different purpose for it. Now I'm going to drop down this ladder here. This is essentially where we came into the ship again. And I've set up this ladder to climb through the habitation deck. And we'll jump off here. And if we go aft from the cargo hall, we'll end up in the 2x2 living quarters. So here we've got a couch. We've got a bathroom located here. Now, one of the things that I thought was particularly weird about this ship is that it had no sleeping quarters. Initially, when I got the Varuun Eulogy, like, these guys must be pretty hardcore because there ain't a bed on the entire ship. So what I did is I put in an all-in-one hab. We've got a couple of beds here. We've got a cooking facility. There should be a bathroom here, but I had to use this for the door because I didn't want to put the door into this one-by-one sort of junction room. I wanted to put it connected to the living quarters. We've got another section of living quarters here. I can't put a one-by-one in there because there's a section of hall there. But here I have another 2x1 hab, and this one's got your 2 beds in there. You got your bathroom, and you got your cooking facilities. And then over here I've got another 2x1 hab, 2 more beds, another bathroom, but the cooking facilities have been wiped out in this one because I put the door in there. Okay, so that's the second deck, or the lower deck. Then we're going to go up to the command deck. And here we've got a 2x2 control room. And then heading just aft by that, we've got a 3x2 cafeteria, or mess hall. You got your main kitchen facilities. And frankly, for a ship this size, a 3x2 is probably overkill. But it came with the ship, so I'm not going to bother to change it. You got your officer's mess here. And then just on the starboard side of the control room, and there is an actual door here. You got your captain's quarters, and this is in pretty close proximity to the bridge. Then finally we climb up this one little ladder. And we've got the bridge, your pilot station, and a couple of jump seats here for additional personnel on the bridge. But this seemed to me to be a much more sensible layout to the ship. Captain's quarters in close proximity. You've got your command center in close proximity to the bridge. You've got your mess hall for the duty officers to relax a little bit, for the crew to get together. And then you go down one deck, and that's where basically all of the living quarters are, and where the cargo hall is. And the cargo hall is separated from the living quarters by a couple of hatches that can be closed. You've got your sleeping quarters. You've got your main gathering area here for the crew, sleeping quarters, and sleeping quarters again. And like I said earlier, you've got your cargo hall here. You've got access to your workshop just below that, and you've got access to the bridge, and of course you've got your other access to the landing bay. So this gives you a couple of ways to get into this area of the ship, and it makes a lot more sense to me from a practical standpoint of how a ship like this would actually more likely be laid out. And made the ship a little bit smaller. I managed to increase the handling of the ship quite a bit. I think it was something like 60 handling initially. I believe it's up to about 85 or 90 or something like that, because I got rid of a lot of dead mass. I put a slightly bigger reactor into it, although if I level up one more time I should be able to put a bigger one in still. And I also got a more compact looking ship, but I didn't actually lose anything for crew space. In fact, I gained a little bit of crew space. I gained some, the 3 habs, and I lost one, what do they call it, command center, 2x1 command center. And frankly, that seemed redundant considering I have a 2x2 command center just adjacent to the bridge anyways. So yeah, that's what I ended up making out of the Varuun Eulogy, and I think it's a little bit more sensible than what it started with. I don't know why they did this initially. The Conqueror is the same exact model, and in my opinion, it's kind of a stupid design for the ship. They could have done a lot better on it. Anyways, that's what I made of it. I said I was going to do another video when I initially captured the ship. So this is it. Thanks for watching. Come back for the next one.